Hi, my name is Lorraine Murray. I'm the founder of Connected Kids. And 20 years ago, I found myself doing something I didn't expect to be doing, which was teaching meditation to some young people, some of whom were on the autistic spectrum. And I didn't know this at the time. Back then, there was an awareness of autism, but there wasn't a great deal of information as there is now. And I just had this enthusiasm for teaching young people meditation to help them feel calm and regulated and grounded. And I wanted to share that. I didn't have specialist training. I just had a great enthusiasm and experience of teaching meditation for the previous 5 or 6 years before that. I can still remember the children that I taught in these classes. There was about 12 of them, and perhaps my not knowing that they were autistic children helped because I just supported them in the way that I would support anyone I was teaching meditation to. I guided them gently to be aware of their body, their breath. I observed their movements and their response to that. I noticed how, after a period of time, they started to settle in, and it was really remarkable how they responded to this. They connected to it. And as a result of this, it ended up me producing my very first book, Calm Kids, which was published and is now available in several different languages worldwide. Today, thankfully, we know a lot more about autism, so we understand it a little bit better. We can have more compassionate awareness for autistic children as well and what they're experiencing. And I hope that develops even further. But there's still a long way to go for there being a level of compassionate awareness throughout society. But what I've discovered through teaching autistic children meditation is that they've got so much to share with us too. And I'm sure if you are a parent or somebody working with a young autistic child, that you will have noticed this through time, how much they can teach us about being present, about being self-regulated, and also being grounded in the moment and appreciating it for what it is. You might wonder why or how you can teach an autistic child meditation and mindfulness. I do it because it works, and I've seen it work time and time again with the young people that we've worked with. And it's why we set up our professional teaching program or the foundation program for parents and foster parents in order to help them navigate this world with their autistic children who are highly sensitive to the world around them. And all we're basically doing is giving them some tools, not to change them, but to help them thrive, to help them be the best version of themselves and to reduce the stress and anxiety they feel living in this difficult and challenging world that we live in. I didn't teach meditation to them to change them. It was to empower them, to give them tools and help them meet the world on their terms. I know that there is more information now and more awareness of why autistic children's behaviour is the way it is. They can have sensory overload, which is very challenging for them. So, for example, if you listen to a hand dryer in a bathroom, to you it's quite a loud noise, but to an autistic child, it can sound like a pneumatic drill. It could be 1,000% louder to them than it is to you or I. So it's really alarming and disturbing to them. And what we're trying to do is help them navigate that and not teaching them meditation in the way that you or I might learn meditation, but teaching it in a way that they can easily access. And one of the things that I bring into what I do and the work that I do is to move beyond just teaching them mindfulness, but help the parents and the adults around these young people have a level of compassionate energy awareness about what's going on for that young person and how to help them cope. Now, I have a background in healing and meditation, so I've seen the power of bringing that level of energy awareness about the energy centers, the chakras, into my work with young people. It doesn't mean that you have to follow it completely. It just is another tool in your toolkit to help you understand that young person. Because often I found that autistic children really struggle with one of their main energy centers, which is the root center at the base of their spine. And it can be extremely difficult for them to stay grounded and feel safe and secure. And it's often why they want to have routines, because that's their way of trying to cope with this feeling of ungroundedness. And when we give them some ways to access mindful awareness and help them bring themselves into balance very gently, you see that they sleep better, that they don't react as strongly, that they are able to cope with who they are, which is very special in a world that doesn't always appreciate how amazing they are. But there is something very important that you need to realize, that there is this kind of mirror effect. So you and your energy really affects them. And if you're in a highly stressed state or anxious, and I can imagine that living with an autistic child initially presents itself as that, then their behavior will reflect that level of stress and anxiety right back at you through their behavior. So it's a bit of a chicken and egg, isn't it? And what we often do in our Connected Kids program is encourage the adults around these young people to really concentrate on developing strategies and ways to help them stay grounded and to reduce their stress and anxiety. And just by doing that alone can often be beneficial to the autistic children that they are working with. I want to share with you a story of real people and real stories of those that we've worked with. I had a mother who shared with me that she practiced mindfulness, and even just whilst washing the dishes, doing a routine task, her young son, who had Asperger's, he became calmer. He could feel the shift in her energy, and that moment of awareness was really important for her and for him, because it helped her see that beyond his behaviors and the emotions that were lying underneath, he was really doing the best that he could. And if she worked being that present and mindful person around him, then it could give him peace. And that increased her compassion for him too. Another example is I was actually being interviewed for a magazine all about autistic children and their families. And during the interview, the journalist, who was also a mum of an autistic child, asked for a technique she could try with her son, who had Asperger's and ADHD. So I suggested a technique that we teach on the professional course called the amygdala hold, or the head hold. And it was really sweet that afterwards she sent me an email telling me that after she'd introduced it to him and she taught it to him, that for the first time in a long time, he slept better, he felt calmer. He noticed himself a personal difference in how he was feeling just by doing that. So are you ready to begin? Are you curious to find out more? I would suggest, if you are a complete beginner to meditation, you look at our Calm Kids book, because it is really good for people who are brand new themselves at meditation. And if you've more experience with meditation, and particularly if you have autistic children in your life, then our Connected Kids book is very good, because it gives you more information about the energy centers and the impact of balancing the energy and how to do that with meditation and mindfulness techniques. Or if you're a person who would prefer to learn directly, then we have a number of online opportunities through our Connected Kids program that you can explore. And these will hold your hand and take you step by step through the different practices that we teach, whether it's for personal or professional reasons. And these will help you understand and gain confidence and creativity, and really developing the style of meditation that's right for your autistic child. We've really helped thousands of adults around the world change the way that they support their children, and it's really changed their relationships and brought a deeper connection between the autistic children in their life and the adults around them. I believe that we're all connected. We're all linked through our breath, our presence, living on this earth, which is why we called it Connected Kids. We wanted to help people strengthen that connection and how we all affect each other. So ultimately, I don't think we can always see the world as autistic children do, but we can help them navigate their way through it with some simple tools that can help them thrive and feel better about themselves, and be able to self-regulate in stressful situations that they face, either with your presence or without your presence. Now, if any of this information has piqued your curiosity or you felt it's helped you in some way, then I'll put some links in this video and the comment below so that you can explore the website we have in more detail. If you're curious about the amygdala hold I mentioned earlier, then if you go to that particular page and just drop us an email through the sign up, then we will send you a link to the video so you can watch it and then you can try it at home. See whether it works for you and your autistic children. You can also find the links to the books and to the Connected Kids program in the comments below. But I just want to say thank you so much for listening and for being here to be curious about it and hopefully taking your autistic child or children on a mindful journey.